All right, welcome everybody. It's the Monday after. Look at that. What is this? Is this back-to-back weeks we've been able to do this? I'm so happy we're able to do it. If you have any questions or comments, fire away. For those of you watching after the live, do the same down below in the comments section. I'll do my best to respond. Hope you guys are ready. Oh no, I'm okay. No, we're ready. We're good to go. 3, 2, 1. Yo! What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Welcome to the one and only Tuss Talk with Ty. I am him. I am Ty Hudson. Hopefully you guys had you had a good Sunday and a good start to your Monday morning. I certainly hope that this show has become a part of your routine. I know, like, look, I had someone mention to me not long ago, like, man, I love your live shows, but I just don't ever know when they're going to happen. And to that, I just have to tell you that since joining Hogville, it's, I got to do what I can do when I can do it. I would love to go live more often. I really would. And I'm going to try and make that happen as the rest of the season goes on. I'm going to try and get you guys something. If not here, then over on Hogville. But yeah, Tuss Talk, you guys have been here. A lot of you have been here since PTN days. And don't think that it goes unnoticed, because I know who I know who a lot of you are that aren't lurkers, right? The people that are in chat that are commenting. I see you, and I'm like, I remember you. You've been here for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I'll get some of you confused, and I'll still mispronounce your name, even though you've been here for years and you've corrected me in chat on how to say it. I'll still. You guys know how I be. Shout out to Patreon supporters. I told you guys in Discord today, if you haven't, go check. But I'll tell you here anyways, even if you've already read what I left you in Discord for the Patreon room, make sure you let me know if you haven't received your sticker yet. Let me know, because we've sent them all out, and I think I've only had one person hit me back with they haven't received theirs yet. So please let me know if you want one. Well, just sign up. Just sign up for Patreon. It's a minimum of $4 a month. Hell, you could just do it for a month, just so you can get the sticker. I think several people did that, and that's perfectly okay. I would implore you to stick around for a little bit, because you're supporting a small YouTube channel, I'm still independent. This channel is still independent. Make no mistake about it. Shout out to Apex Tattoo Studio. This show isn't happening without them as well. Along with Patreon supporters, I'm not here without Apex Tattoo Studio. Located at 615 West Oak Street, Rogers, Arkansas, 72756. Give them a call today, 479-278-2694. Again, that's the Apex Tattoo Studio. Why don't you hop on over to their Facebook page? Slap a like on their page. Show these local businesses that you support them. And a lot of tattoo parlors, a lot of places around here to get tatted up. A lot of competition out there, but these guys do really, really good work. You can check out their work on their Facebook page as well, and also in our Discord. I have some of their stuff up, some of their work. Shout out also to the moderators. This is really hard to do without them. And Haas and Mike are two mods, and I love that they're here, and they know I've got thick skin. I can handle 99%. It's when people get creepy, like when we had someone kind of threatening that they were going to see me, him and his boys are going to see me at the Bama game. What happened? I was there. I thought he wanted a handshake, but whatever. We've also, in our Discord, we have the Hogs versus Dogs prediction page up as well down below in the Tuss Talk forums, for those of you who are in our Discord. So make sure. We hit a new record. 51, I think, is the new record. 51 total predictions. We had to push that all week long. I posted that on Monday evening, I think, last week. And we had to push it. We had to tag our lurkers. We had to tag everybody. We pushed it and pushed it. I upped the XP amount on that one. We did 25,000 XP, and if you just picked the winner, you got 10,000. If you got the exact score, you got 25,000. So, yeah, if you guys aren't already, you need to be over there, because you're playing for cash money. If you finish out in the top 3, Well, I say cash money. It's going to be digital, of course. It's going to be either in a Walmart gift card, an Amazon gift card. Hell, I don't know. Toys R Us, do they still exist? They have an online store. They may not have brick and mortar anymore, but maybe you want a toy. I don't know. Yeah, make sure you guys, too, like and share the content. And there's Haas right there sharing the love. Haas coming in clutch. There it is. I miss Reggie Herring, says Hog Dog. Speaking of Reggie Herring, I've told this story before, but somehow me and a couple of friends were able to, I think it was during spring red-white scrimmage. I don't remember when we did it, and I don't remember how we did it, but somehow we found our way in with, I think they thought we were recruits. Myself and two other friends of mine, and we were down on the field somehow, and they ushered everyone inside the Walker Pavilion. And I think because we were around these other students. Now, when was Herring here? When was that? 2000. When was that? God. Remember he got in trouble with he had players wear the pink jerseys. He got in trouble for that. But anyways, somehow we were allowed in the Walker Pavilion. And I think it was by mistake because we were younger. I don't know. I mean, we certainly don't look like athletes at this age. I mean, maybe they thought we were relatives or something. And Reggie Herring is on the he's just on the defense. I've never heard so many swear words in my life. I played junior high school football, right? I mean, I've heard coaches swear. I'm not a prude, but I have never heard someone like Reggie Herring before in my life. I remember looking over at one of my friends and I was like, is that legal? Can he say some of this stuff? And it was hard too because thinking back on it, some of those guys around us looked like prospects. They looked like high school prospects. I'm thinking, man, these kids, what do they think of this? Now, they may not have been. They may have just been a thing where they're letting fans in. I still have no idea how we got in. Was that 05? God, that was so long ago. I know I wasn't out of high school for very long. If you guys have any questions or comments, please fire away. Or we're going to have a pretty short show. But we do have a lot to talk about. Sam Pittman talked with the media. I've got some notes from that Zoom call. Of course, you can look. Those videos should be published everywhere, but I'll fill you in what I can here. Yo, Ty, what's up, Scott? How you doing, man? Sanders Price says we are not good at the sport of football, says Sanders. I don't know. I don't think it's that, Sanders. I just think that they've got some glaring issues on both sides of the ball that if not approached and dealt with in a timely fashion, they're going to struggle. Continue to struggle, I should say. I'm still sad about the A&M game. This Bama game was expected, just should have been closer. I think it should have been closer. I mean, third quarter was evident of that. The third quarter was absolutely evident of that. This team is capable. It's so crazy to me what they're capable of being. But the biggest question is right now, I think what we have coming out of these back-to-back losses, I think the question is, what is this team? What are they really? What are they? Just a KJ run the football, Rocket Sanders and KJ run the football, and that's just who they are? Defense is what it is. They have got to get some things adjusted, fixed, and dealt with, or it's going to be a really, really long season. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I'm going to say something here in a minute that might bother some of you. I think a lot of you will agree, but the vocal minority will not like what I'm about to say. Hey, Ty, is it time for praying yet? Because we're going to need some help Saturday. Changing my prediction to 7-5. What was your prediction, Hog Dog? I don't remember your prediction. I love your live streams, Ty, but hate it when I have to watch during school. I hate that for you, man. Yeah. If you're in college, you can just put in the earbuds, right? And just pretend like you're paying attention to your professor. Any recruiting updates for football? Not at the moment. I have not talked to anybody about recruiting just yet. A lot of players were there. We know that. A lot of prospects were there. I've heard some of them had a good time, but I mean, I don't know that you get much out of those right now. At least nothing of substance yet. It's the days following, right? It's this week. I'm sure we're going to start hearing some more. I miss. Oh yeah, I already talked about Reggie Herring. If we name drop you, we get a discount at Apex. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I don't know if Travis is in chat or not, but that's a really good question. You know what? I'm gonna shoot him a text right now. I'm gonna shoot him a text right here, live on the show. Live on the show. Hey, if anyone name drops me at Apex, do they get a discount? Question mark. Well, sometimes it's like they can't pick up my accent. Hey, if any, and it's still going. Here we go. Text sent. There we go. Text message sent. So we'll see if he responds. Travis is usually really good at responding pretty quickly, so we'll find out. Yo, what's up, Mike? How you doing? I'm an eternal optimist. Oh, I love how this starts. We got to 28-23. I believe if we hold on 3rd and 15, it may have been a different outcome. I don't know if they would have won. I'll say that DeBinion fumble was oh man, that was God. That hurt. I mean that really hurt. I think it's at least. I think you definitely cover the spread, and it's a far closer game for sure. Should we top 10? Should we be top 10? No, but for us to have 2 losses against top 25 teams and be out of the top 25 in 2 weeks is a little crazy. Let me explain to you why that's the case, or why they're in the position they're in and not being ranked. Because I think the body of work shows you so far, not just your losses, but in your wins as well, this team had no business being ranked in the top 10. Then naturally, the way they lost to A&M's not a good football team. And I think voters are figuring that out. They're not a good football team. That loss is not doing you any favors, right? The only loss, or the only win, the only game that's done you any favors is Cincinnati. They pop back up into the top 25. I think the AP put them at like 24, 25. That's the only game that's done you any favors. Now, you stayed ranked in the coaches poll, I think is what I saw. But I think your overall play right now, I don't have a problem with Arkansas not being ranked. Josh Bertaccini put out a poll this morning. For those of you up here in NWA, he's on a 921. He's the morning guy. Will Arkansas finish the season ranked? So I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask the same question. Do you think they finished the season ranked? Just tell me. I don't need like a whole paragraph, and don't just say yes or no, because I'm going to be behind. I'm going to be reading these. I'm going to be like, what are you talking about? Should they be ranked? Yes, no. I want you to type that out. Should they be ranked? And then just give me your answer, because I'm curious. Or well, let me rephrase that. Will they be ranked at the end of the season? I like how that sitting started, though. I'm an eternal optimist, Todd. That was a good way of starting that. Hog Barbecue says that they should be ranked. That's what I'm getting from that what you wrote there. I should they be ranked? I don't know. I'll just say I don't have a problem with them not being ranked. I think they've got to earn it. I'm so confused with the Hornsby-Fortin thing. Yeah, we got some clarification on that today, too, from Coach Pittman. We have the ability to be great, but we just haven't been able to put 4 quarters together. Yeah. Brody Farrell says, what's going on, Ty? What's your assessment of wide receivers progression? What's your assessment or the wide receivers progression? Okay, so you're asking me what do I think of the wideouts so far. I think they're vastly underutilized. I think the wide receivers, especially Jaden Hazelwood and Ketron Jackson, they have got to be bigger parts of the passing game, and I don't even think it's a question. I think Hazelwood averages something like 5 targets a game. Dude, that's not enough. That is not enough. It's just not. Him and Ketron need to be bigger parts of the offense. I would argue Trey Knox as well. Knox is such. I mean, we see him running open. I've seen him run wide open, and KJ either decides to hand the ball off, or keep it, or picks another target. I don't know what's going on with that. I've seen that happen, and I'm kind of surprised no one asked about it today. Austin says I'm not wavering from my 8-4. Okay. Hell, we haven't put a whole a whole half together. Yeah, they haven't put together a 4-quarter performance yet this year. And to be fair, they didn't really last year either, outside of maybe 2 or 3 games. They found ways to win games last year, and they also found ways to lose games as well. I mean, you go back to Auburn and Ole Miss. It's funny, last year we couldn't get pass rush. Yeah, right? And secondary was better. This year, pass rush is better, and secondary is subpar. They're not subpar. Man, they're awful. I mean, they're Arkansas. This might be – I don't know, man. They're bad. And it's like it's not just cover. It's not just coverage. It's all of it. It's missed tackles, right? Bad angles. Guys out of place. Maybe some miscommunication going on between the safeties and the corners and the rest of the secondary. I don't know. Yeah, subpar, I agree. Subpar is an understatement. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. I hate to say that. People are going to harp on me for being negative, but my God, what have you seen that has you positive about the defense? The offense, just hang in there. Hang in there. Where's Dominic Johnson? I'm afraid he may leave us. Yeah, I don't know. So you're going to see other running backs, their carries are going to dwindle because Rocket Sanders is legitimately the best back in the SEC. You've got to feed the guy. I have no problem with him taking that many carries. What did he end up with? What was it? Was it 18 carries? What did he do? No, he had 22. That's right. It was KJ with 17. 22 carries for 101 yards. God, is that the most carries for him on the year? Honest question, have we hit the ceiling? If you're talking about this year, no, I don't think you've come close to it. If you're talking about in the Pittman era, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea. I feel like they could be better. I feel like players want to play for Coach Pittman. I feel like coaches want to coach for Sam Pittman. I think there's, I mean, I don't know. Some people kind of compare him to Houston Nutt. I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Houston was given 10 years, had some great moments, and then not so great moments. There isn't any 3-2 teams in the AP right now. Yeah, there's also that. Yeah, they're all either one loss or undefeated, I'm pretty sure. Todd says yes to a top 25 finish. We're the best 3-2 team, in my opinion. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I really don't. I really don't know if they are. I mean, maybe. The possibility is there for them to be so much better on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know how they fix the issues on defense. I really don't. You could say, well, their pass rush has got to get better. They could work some guys. They can change some things up front, but it's like, but that's not the problem. The pass rush is, I mean, dare I say, the pass rush, not just the defensive line, the pass rush, this is the best we've seen in a very, very long time. I cannot remember last week against Bama, who kind of has a reputation this year for having I don't want to say a leaky offensive line, but a very average offensive line. They didn't really pressure either of those quarterbacks too much. Then again, why do you need to pressure when homeboy's just going to run downfield 60 yards? No, we won't, given how we're playing projecting out, says Anthony White. Yeah, right. I mean, but you're talking about projecting. So Anthony, you're talking about someone else. I want to know you. Like, if you're saying that based on just projections, then yeah, I mean, the FPI has Arkansas at 5-7. I mean, I don't know. When you say projecting, what do you mean by that? I'm talking about you, Anthony. I want to know you, my friend. I'm curious what you think. Do you believe that Arkansas has it in their – do they have the gas in the gas tank? Hornsby Instagram and Twitter has been like that. Okay, so yeah, we had some Hornsby drama. Hornsby took everything off his everything Razorback related off his Instagram, apparently. I don't know. I'll be real honest. I just don't go to these kids' Twitters and their Instagrams that often. I couldn't even tell you what his avatar was. I really don't pay attention. Because time has taught me that sometimes all that's just bullshit. Like what they do, and I'm not saying he's that. I'm definitely not throwing him in that category, but what these guys do with their socials, sometimes people look too much into it, and then sometimes there is something there. I don't know. Unless he comes out and says I'm transferring, that's when I'm going to give it some real honest attention. But when KJ throws the ball, guys are dropping balls left and right, so KJ isn't comfortable with his guys. There have been drops, but we've also seen guys running wide open downfield, and KJ, and that goes to your point about him maybe not having confidence in those guys. Hazelwood, how many drops on the year does Hazelwood have? I mean, really? How many drops on the year does Katron Jackson have? Warren Thompson is still dropping the ball. Now, he's also dealing with some injuries, which I was unaware of. Him and Slusher, by the way, both are dealing with injuries. I think they're both day-to-day. Speaking of, really quick, KJ Jefferson. All right. Rumors amuck. Is it concussions? We don't know. We can't confirm anything. Sam Pittman said today, when asked by Tom Murphy asked him, he's in concussion protocol. Sam Pittman said, I didn't say that. Next question. I'm not, listen, whatever. Whatever's going on is going on. Right now it sounds like there's a possibility Cade Fortin could be the guy. I think some of that's just Sam being tactical. I mean, really. Someone's going to say, well, he's not being fair to the media. No, or to the fans and into the media. I don't think it's that at all. I think it's him being tactical. He wants them to guess who's going to come out at quarterback next week. That can be an advantage. Someone had a wild take on Twitter today that Fortin was a better passer than KJ, and I'm like, look, I was there. I've been there, fall camp, through weekly practices. I'm there every Monday. I'll be there today. That is not true. Fortin is not a better passer than KJ. I don't know what possesses someone to say that. At least not in this offense. Now, and I was going to save this for Friday when we break these two down, when we start talking about taking on Mississippi State, going on the road. He will have, if he does play, imagine being a defensive coordinator trying to scheme this offense without KJ Jefferson. Fortin's going to have a massive advantage, and Kendall Briles is going to have an advantage. It sounds like he's number 2 as well. But I'm not saying he's going to go out there and throw up 400 yards. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be an All-American in a game. I'm not saying he's going to create some quarterback controversy. But, I mean, I don't know. If you go on the road and you whoop Mississippi State's ass and he's the reason for it, then we might have another conversation entirely. But you're going to have a lot of advantages here if you're Arkansas. You could also say, yeah, but Cade's just not the player that KJ is. And I agree. KJ operates this offense at a very high capacity. Normally, this year, I'm not putting it on KJ. I'm going to tell you, I think it's on play calling. We're going to have to start mixing it up more. What do you mean? Talking about on offense? I agree if you're talking about offense, Todd. Really feeling missing Fouché, Brooks, and Mo Brown? Yes. I was being nice, Ty, on the secondary. Oh, well, I mean, listen, that's kind and all, but let's be honest here. That's what we are. We are honest here. They're not good. They're not. I mean, that goes without saying to 99% of the people in this chat. It is they've got some problems. Ty, do you think the loss to A&M and Alabama, they can come back from that, or do you think they're giving up? No, I don't think they're giving up, Chris. No, not at all. I've not. The way they fought back in the third quarter, I think what happened in the fourth quarter was just Alabama planting the flag in the ground. We are Alabama. We have way more talent. We're the number one. We are the number one team. I'm going to tell you right now, I think they win it all. And I know that's not going out on a limb very much. That's not shocking. I just think, especially with the way Georgia played against Mizzou on the road, I'm never really a buyer of Ohio State. There's always this hype. I'm definitely not a buyer. People are trying to tell me Oklahoma State's for real, and I'm like, all right, cool. Put them in the SEC West. What's the record? Let's do that. I mean, good for Oklahoma State in that trashy Big 12 conference, but it's trash. I mean, it's still not a good conference. When Kansas is undefeated in your conference, they're not good. Oklahoma State's good. I'm listening to people on the radio tell me they're going to make the playoffs, and I'm like, no, I don't think they should. What does the Oklahoma matchup look like now for them? I think they have two. Well, I'd have to double check. I think they have one, maybe two ranked matchups left this year. I think they should have to go undefeated and win their title game convincingly to even have a shot in the playoffs. That's what should be the measuring stick. Probably won't be, though. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it all depends on what the SEC does. That's just the way it goes. Keep Deke Bowman and sure send Odom to Nebraska or Colorado. Boy, Haas once owed him out of town. We're a basketball program that wishes it was a football one. As long as Muss is on the hill, I'm good. Listen, I would argue you're a baseball school, and I've made that comment here publicly multiple times. They are. I think they're a baseball school. When you look at the attendance, and that may shrink. That might start to dwindle a little bit because of the cost to go to a baseball game now. They're really pricing fans out. But over the years, you look at the ratio, right? The amount of how the percentage of how much they fill that stadium up versus everything else on campus. Look at the winning percentage on the field. Look at your winning percentage against conference and non-conference. Unless your name's Oklahoma. For whatever reason, this program struggles no matter the sport against Oklahoma, and it just boggles the mind. The expectation in baseball is Omaha. Or at the very least, Supers. That's the expectations. Football's expectations are, let's win 8. We'll be happy with that. Basketball is surging, no doubt. And I think once upon a time ago, this was a basketball school. Absolutely. Can they get back there? Yeah, they absolutely can. I think they're damn close, actually. It's almost like baseball's here, basketball's like right there. But, back-to-back Elite Eights, man, you don't take that lightly. That's incredible. We had someone in chat last year tell us that wasn't that big of a deal, and then we found out later that person was like a teenager. It's like, okay, we get it. We understand now. You're not old enough to remember, how bad things were and how great things used to be. I will say TV does Bryce Young justice, but seeing him live, very impressive. Very good player. I wish him the best. Hope he's able to recover. It sounds like he may not be. I think Hornsby needs to move to wide receiver permanently. The Malik Hornsby situation is an interesting one. When they first said we're going to try him out at wide receiver, that right there was a red flag for me. That was a red flag. Something's not going right at quarterback, or that means something's not going right at wide receiver. Wide receivers start to emerge through fall camp. All of a sudden, the narrative changes. We don't need him out there. The media was blown away by how good, and they did. The receivers looked incredible, making circus catches every day. It was like the expectations on a daily basis was another receiver was going to stand out. Now we know, looking back, well, it's because your DBs were not good. And maybe it is kind of Hazelwood had a great camp. All the receivers, Warren Thompson, all the receivers, you name them, Quincy McAdoo, right? They had guys making plays every single day, and I think now we know why. So Malik Hornsby he still lines up at wide receiver in front of the media, not very often, but he's still out there. In fastball, I think they moved him out to wide receiver once or twice throughout the season. I'm not talking about fall camp. I'm talking about through week-to-week practice and game prep and when they go fastball. All of a sudden, you're not seeing him out there. They're not talking about him being out there. He's still getting a couple of carries a game or whatever, but he's not out there like I think they wanted him out there, right? I don't know what's going on. I've had about 4 different people DM me over the last couple of days. Hornsby's not happy. He's going to transfer. And Sam Pittman came out today and said he's fine. Sam Pittman came out today and said he's fine. He's fine. He's good. So, you don't know who to believe. And I believe the people I work with, Otis Kirk and Dudley Dawson. Those are the people I believe. What they tell me, it's like, oh, okay, all right. But Hornsby is a fascinating case because he's been beat out at quarterback at QB2. When you're sitting here telling me that, Malik Hornsby's not a passer, he's not a quarterback. then he's not a quarterback. If you're telling me that Fortin, who's been at 15 different schools, who has struggled in the passing game, his pass completion numbers off and on are not good, you're telling me he's going to come in here year one and beat him out for QB2, that Malik Hornsby's still a quarterback? Figure out what you want to do with him. It reminds me so much of what they were doing with Slusher in the secondary. Moving him around, playing him two different corner spots, moving him to nickel, moving him to over-the-top safety or the middle safety. You know, I don't know. It's strange to me. And maybe they should just move him out to wide receiver. I think part of it is, well, no, we desperately need three quarterbacks here because KJ, the way he plays the game and how physical he is, right? Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're sharing the content. Let me get into the thing that I think you guys won't like. What I'm going to say is damn chair. I think what's going on offense is completely fixable. I really do. There's a misuse of Hazelwood. There's a misuse of Katron Jackson. I've already talked about that. The running backs, I think they're doing just fine. I really do. I get Rocket getting the carries that he's getting. I completely understand why they're giving him the majority of the carries. He should be. My God, he ran the ball for nearly 5 yards a carry against Bama, who at the time had one of the top 10 defenses in the country, run defenses. He ran with ease. And a lot of that you got to give credit to the offensive line. I don't know that what's going on the defensive side of the ball or on the defensive side of the ball can be repaired. I really don't. You're thin in the secondary. You don't have a Catalan coming back to bail you out. You got guys playing banged up, and they're, Slusher's day to day. He may not play this weekend. There's a possibility you're going to be without Slusher. And you can say what you want. He's had some blown coverages, and I don't know how much of those are on him necessarily, but it certainly looked to me like they were absolutely on him. He doesn't miss tackles. He's difficult when you're going to throw a check down throw. He's there, and you're not going to evade him. He is such a great open field defender. Is he always going to be that? I don't know. Now he's might be playing banged up, and Mississippi State's going to identify that. And they may pick on him if he plays. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think what's going on in the secondary, I don't know that it's fixable. Now, like I said, the vast majority of you will approve of that. I've got people that are just on me about Barry Odom, people that are like, he's the guy, Ty. It's not on him. And I'm not saying that it is or isn't on him. I do think he has to have some blame, right? I mean, he has to. Those are his guys on the field. It's his defense at the end of the day. I love what he's doing up front. The defense playing that multiple look up front is great. Going with 3 or 4, bringing Sanders. Sanders, who's just been incredible. Sanders is, if he continues to play at the level he's playing at, he is a top 12, top 15 pick in the NFL draft. When's the last time Arkansas had a linebacker go that high? I mean, really, some of you OGs in chat, I really can't remember. I remember Quentin Caver had some hype. Caleb Miller had some hype. Tony Bua, who set the career tackling record, but he was a safety more than he was a linebacker. Sam Aljabutu was great, but never cracked the draft talk. Scooter Harris. Freddie Fairchild, had he not been, run into the issues he had after his first year on campus, probably could have been a high draft. I'm not saying a first rounder, but could have been someone we talk about playing on Sundays. Dre Greenlaw's been spectacular. When's the last time, though, you had a linebacker in the modern era of college football? I don't think ever you've had a linebacker at this hype. Will he always stay there? Look, he's got to continue to play at that level. I mean, he's averaging like 2 sacks a game or something. It's kind of incredible. But what's going on in the secondary primarily, I don't know if it's fixable. The missed tackles, I think they took a softer approach in fall camp. They didn't want to get guys busted up, and that's perfectly understandable. But I think it's costing them right now. I think it's costing them. I'm starting to see them wrap up a little bit better, but we're still seeing a lot of shoulder tackles. We're seeing them try to hit high, not hit low. They're not wrapping up legs. I mean, guys are just slipping through this defense. That's not something we have seen in the 2 years that Barry Odom has been the defensive coordinator. How much of that is on him? How much of that is Sam Pittman through fall camp saying, no, we're going to take a softer approach? He never came out and said that, but that's certainly seems to be what happened. And we know they didn't go. We know during their 2 scrimmages during fall camp they didn't tackle to the ground. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sam acknowledged that they didn't tackle to the ground. I think that softer approach through fall camp hurt them, and they're having to play catch up and how to play physical again. They're not swarming to the ball like they did a year ago. The offense, I think, is fixable. I think it's fixable. Include these receivers more in the pass game. Target Hazelwood and Katron Jackson more. I think it's fixable. I think their offense really could be something fun to watch. Man, they struggle to put together solid play through an entire game on offense, and it shouldn't be that way. They'll play one really great quarter or one really good half and then disappear. Third quarter, 16 points, 150 yards of offense. Onside kick, which was so ballsy. I loved it. Pulling out all stops, only to have that fourth quarter, and that's hard to put it all on. Look, defense collapsed. They eventually, when your first 6 drives end in punts, and I think they had a turnover, your defense, it eventually will catch up and your defense will wear out. You don't have the depth. You just don't have it. You don't have the depth to go 4 quarters. You just don't. I don't know. A lot of issues on defense. Now, I don't think it's all hopeless. Someone asked me today, is it a lack of leadership in the defense? I would argue that might be some of it. But again, it's like D all the above. It's D all the above. It's like all the issues. Now, what's crazy is the run defense has been respectable up until Bama, and then Bama runs for 300-plus yards. I don't know what's happening. Again, going back, I don't know what's happening in the secondary is fixable. You don't have that go-to guy that you're waiting on to come back from injury. You don't have one of those guys. You definitely don't have 2 of those guys. Sure as hell don't have 3 of those guys. You are what you are. The only thing you can hope to do is scheme differently. I don't know. Maybe move some of these guys around. Maybe you can roll the dice and play. Maybe Kenwan Parker gets more playing time. I don't know. But it certainly looks like you've got what you've got and you got to roll with it. And because of that, it's going to be hard for me to pick Arkansas for a while. I'm going to be real with you. That's really the part that's going to piss some people off. I'm having a hard time looking at this schedule and going, when the hell do I pick Arkansas to win a game? I mean, that's a spoiler alert for Friday. Right now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not taking the Hogs. I'm just not. Their defense it's shit. It's awful. This might be the worst. This might be worse than some of the Willie Robb years on defense. And I'm not placing all the blame on anybody. It's just a combination of things. It's injuries. It's losing Joseph Fouché and Gregory Brooks to the portal, Mo Brown to the NFL. And those are things that are unavoidable. And that's hard to put it on anybody. I do think Barry Odom, if there's anybody who can turn this thing around, Barry Odom is the guy. But you have to look what he has available to him in the tool shed. And it's man, right now they're just going to have to hang on. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I think they have it in them to play a couple of decent games on the defensive side of the ball. But injuries have stacked up. Guys we know were probably playing hurt. That's just the natural state of football. But the question is, well, then what about the guys behind them? Well, they're not playing. Not a lot. Oh, we have a super chat. Hang on. Super chat. Mr. T-Dub says, Ties is just me or Sam getting snappy with the media 3 weeks in a row. He has popped back at the media, and today he popped back at Biddy. I heard him pop at maybe I missed that. I heard him. He got after kind of thought he got after Tom Murphy when Tom Murphy asked about what was it? What did Tom ask him again? Oh, it was the concussion protocol, and Sam said, I didn't say that. Next question. Mike says it would be Billy Ray Smith. And that was what, 1980? What year was that? 84. Don't get me wrong, I love Bump, but he's better in the support role in my opinion. Says Eagle. I got to take my ass back to work. Okay. All right. Well, you do that. Hawes, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Don't want you getting in trouble. What do you think? And again, if you guys, can I pull up Super Chat now? Is it going to let me do that? Boy, it doesn't let me do that. That is so stupid. Why can I not pull up Super Chat? I can pull up Top Chat or Live Chat. That's stupid. Let me scroll up, make sure I didn't miss any other Super Chats. I think we've just had the one. Super Chats will all, my goal is to make sure I read Super Chats. But I don't know. I think Mr. T-Dub, I think he's just frustrated. Maybe he is. I'll have to go back and watch, take some more notes. I think he seems a little snippy. Yeah, I've seen it. I have seen it. You're right. This trying to tackle his shoulder bumps has to go. It's awful. I agree, Mr. T-Dub. I do agree. What's up with Thompson? With Warren Thompson, I think he's injured. If you're asking about his injuries, I think he's banged up. They do great in 2-minute offense. It's funny when their backs are against the wall, their offense actually they play. And that's what gives me hope. In that third quarter is what gives me hope about this football team. And if your offense can keep its defense, keep the Razorback defense on the sidelines, if they could put together these 12, 13, 14 play, 5.5-minute drives, if they could have longer sustainable drives, keep that defense on the sidelines. And it's hard to put it all on the defense. It really is. When your offense comes out, I think it was 6 drives in a row and they had to punt. I think they punted 5 out of the 6 and had a turnover. I'm trying to remember how that went down. But when you keep that defense on the field, they don't have the depth, man. And a team like Alabama, I feel like they could have hung 60 points on Arkansas. They just don't have it. So it's just as much on the offense when we're talking about points allowed and the defense wearing down. It's just as much on the offense. And that's the thing. It's like the offense controls this entire thing. If they could put together sustainable, longer drives, finish their drives, not leaving points on the field, getting whatever points they can get, finishing these drives. Again, take up 5.5 minutes off the clock every drive. Keep your defense fresh. Keep them on the sidelines. You're at a lower risk for injuries. You don't have to worry about the other team's third down percentage when their offense is on the sidelines. The offense is the key to this season. But you're going to have to get more multiple on offense. You're going to have to stretch the field. You're going to have to throw the ball more. What do they average per game? Something like 28 throws, 27 throws or something a game. It's they're going to have to go more multiple. I don't like KJ. I'm telling you, man, it's racking up, man. I don't like KJ running the ball 18 times a game or whatever it is. It's too much. It's too much. And now you're in a situation at quarterback where some of that contact could have been preventable. It could have been preventable. And now he's going to get banged up. We know he's probably playing hurt. Can you see any reason why it takes so long to get our passing game going? Passing seems to kill early drives. I don't know. I'm not really I don't know. When you face adversity, when your run game is clamped down, when they're minimizing what KJ can do the way Alabama was able to do it, it's something they did too, and you're going to see everybody do this to KJ, and we saw it a little bit last year. If you watched, and I think they pointed this out on the broadcast, they don't over pursue and get behind KJ. The DNs don't. Or if a linebacker's coming, they don't crash on the outside and go. They don't take a far approach, because they're trying to find a way to wedge the tackle, do a little arm swoop action, and then find a way to make the play, right, to get after KJ. What they're doing is they're staying level with KJ. And that way, when the pocket collapses, it's forcing KJ to have to go either further out or step into the pocket. And when you have the talent that Alabama has where you can just collapse the pocket from all sides, and those DNs aren't crashing from the outside, they're crashing in, and they're minimizing KJ's ability to take a step out outside the box and take off and run. When you take that away from him, you saw what happened. Now, he did have a couple of good runs, and he definitely made some decent plays. I will say, too, I thought Saturday he was the most off in the passing game. And someone asked me, apparently after the game, and I missed it in the DMs, they asked me if KJ – if he's not the same quarterback after that fumble against A&M, and I would say no, because we got the third quarter, what he was able to do in the third quarter. He put a good drive together at the end of the first half against Bama. He did bounce back in the A&M game, so I don't think that's the case, but he looked more off, and it was against Bama, so there is that. Super chat, Pittman, introductory press conference. We will be a balanced offense. We won't be a 3 yards in a cloud of dust. 3 years later, yeah, Dust Bowl and 3 yard runs. Yeah, I mean they're one dimensional. They're one dimensional on offense, and I like you have to be more multiple in offense in the way you call plays. You have to be willing to throw the ball. You have to be willing to throw it more on first down. You're going to have to win. And Sam Pittman talked about first down play and about how you attack Mississippi State's defense. You're going to have to get out ahead of the sticks on first down. I'll say that much. KJ seemed off since Missouri State game. Says Hog Dog. What else did Sam Pittman say today? He admitted man coverage has been a problem for our defense. I don't think that's shocking news to anybody. I think we all agree. They're not. And that makes it hard because it makes it that much more difficult to disguise your coverage. When you're really bad at one, you're going to be really bad at both because you've got to be able to disguise your coverage. On Malik Hornsby's role, he said he's a quarterback but will still play at wide receiver. Remember, I also said earlier that he's fine. According to Sam Pittman, he's fine. Katron Jackson is one of the most improved players on the team. That's coming from Sam. Kickoff is 11 o'clock. They asked him about it. He said he prefers earlier games because on the road, those tailgates at home for those home teams, they get better. They get better later, and he's exactly right. He is exactly right. Talked about how aggressive Mississippi State is. They blitz a lot. You better win on first down. Slusher is a wait and see. We'll know more by Wednesday. I think it's his calf. I think it's what he said. Something going on with his calf. And just as far as Fortin coming out as the passer, coming out against Bama, he says Fortin is the better passer between he and Malik Hornsby. There's a lot more that goes into it, and that Malik is handling it fine. How much of that is coach speak? I don't know. Would it shock me if he went into the portal? Of course not. He's already been in there once. Yes, Sanders, but it's going to be magnified this week. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're responding to somebody. Does KJ ever make a second read on a pass play? Yeah, I think he does. If you watch his helmet move, he surveys the secondary. I see him do it actually quite a bit. Yeah, he's not afraid to look off his first read. I mean, absolutely. Now, does he always, when he goes through his reads, does he always throw? No. No, he does not. At least we aren't plagued with the number of penalties like we were. Yeah, there is that. And listen, like I said, I show me something on the road in Starkville. Show me something. Show me that beating Cincinnati, South Carolina, Missouri State wasn't all just, wins against meh kind of teams. Maybe they were regardless. Maybe there's no way to. But if you go on the road and you find a way to beat Mississippi State in Starkville with those, I mean, I'm not even going to get into the cowbell stuff. But it is what it is. You've got to go in there and get prepared for that. They asked Sam about how he deals with it and if his headphones actually block out noise, and he said when he has them on, he can't hear anything. He can't hear anything from all he can hear is what's being said over the headphones. So, can Malik play defensive back? Boy, oh boy, it kind of makes you wonder if they shouldn't have experimented with that, right? Ty, on that 77-yard quarterback touchdown, did you see Bama's tackle holding Hampton? Yeah, I saw it. If you're talking about the Ty Richardson video, if that's what you're referencing, yeah, that was a huge hold. I didn't know that was Hampton. I really did. All I saw was the actual hold take place on the video. I didn't see who it was. Yeah, that was clearly a hold. I thought I saw that a couple times, but they also tried to take away that onside kick. And I didn't know this. I was unaware of this. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. On an onside kick, no other player on kickoff can make, I guess they can't be actively blocking before the recovery. I didn't know that. Hey, you learn something every day. There's something new every day. I wasn't aware of that. You cannot make nobody, even if it's the guys on the very, on the opposite side of where the onside happens. There can be no contact. If you watch that replay, by the way, watch Christopher Paul come flying in to make a block after the recovery. Or it was like right in the middle of it. So it was a perfectly legal play. They were trying to take that thing away. They really were. The refs were trying to find a way to take that away. Convince me otherwise. Convince me otherwise, man. They're trying to take that away from us. But that was a great play, man. I mean, I thought overall, wonderful play. Not blaming the refs for the loss, but this makes it hard to read chat. But they took the wind out of our sails a few times with some bad calls or reviews. Yeah. I mean, from Crimson Tide fans' perspective, we hold on every play. I mean, I'm not one to put – I will point out bad officiating. You guys know I will. But I think so far – and I think that game was just on Arkansas not being anywhere near as good as Bama. We can't rely on refs to make the right call when we play Bama. No, you can't. If we ever want to beat Bama, we have to do it where the refs cannot have an impact, and that is really hard to do because that means putting Bama away. Right? That means putting them away. Like Biddy said in the walk and talk, that A&M game Saturday was enough to make you mad again. Yeah, because that's a game where you're better than the team that beat you, and now looking back on it, you're 3-2. That's where it all starts, right? If you lose again this week, now you're on a 3-game losing streak. If you lose again, you're on a 3-game losing streak heading to BYU. It's like all the momentum you had is completely gone. I don't know if beating A&M definitely changes the Razorbacks' mindset going into that game against Bama. I think no matter what, you lose to Bama. I think no matter what. I don't care if you beat A&M by 20 points, and that builds you up full of all this confidence. I don't care. Bama is, I'm telling you, they're national. That's that team unless they have some. Now, of course, what's going on at quarterback is going to play a big role. If Bryce Young is unable to go for a while, boy, that might change some things. I don't know. They got to have him back. Don't get me wrong. That young man that came in afterwards was problematic. Jalen Milroe, 5-star quarterback. That dude, 4 of 9, 65 yards. KJ, 13 of 24. 24 pass attempts from KJ. Cade Fortin was 4 of 10 for 35 yards. Someone mentioned to me that Cade was playing Bama defense where about 4 of their guys were backups in the secondary. I don't know. I have not gone back and seen that portion of the game yet. I probably will go back and watch it. I don't know, but he did not look good in the passing game. I was surprised when someone on Twitter today tried to make a claim that Cade was a better passer than KJ, and I'm thinking, well, that's not true, but he is going to have the element of surprise this weekend if he's the guy. How do you game plan for a guy that you've only seen in a Razorback jersey throw the ball 10 times? How do you prepare for that? Because they are going to have to make some changes, right? If KJ's a no-go, we may not even find out till Saturday. Boy, that you talk about. I mean, yeah, you got to have him. Without KJ, I definitely don't think you stand a chance. For sure. Amazing what one dumb decision leaping from your 3-yard line will do to your momentum. Yeah, that's true, but you've also got to look at the defense is still the problem. KJ doesn't play on both sides of the ball. KJ doesn't play defense. But I do agree. I think that leap had a huge impact on that game, without a doubt. I think it impacted. I do. I think it had a huge impact on that team. But defense has got to play defense no matter what happens, right? They've got to go out there. They've got a job to do. But that wasn't the best decision. I still don't know what he was thinking, but it happened. KJ doesn't throw either, apparently. Yeah, I don't know why someone would say that. Why they think KJ is his rating Saturday was not good, 57. But again, you got to, you have to look at it like you're playing Bama, man. His season QBR is not great, 69.8. That's his season, but he's throwing 66%, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, just 1 pick. It says here his actual rating is 165.1, but if you look at his number on the top right on ESPN, it says 69.8. Oh, maybe I don't know why. I don't know. The rating stuff gets weird, but he's throwing 66%. Last year he finished at 67.3, 2,600 yards, almost 2,700 yards, 21 passing touchdowns, 4 picks. Yeah. This offense needs him out there, without a doubt. All right. Sam Pittman holds his cards close to his chest. We won't know about quarterback until Saturday. And if it ain't KJ, I'd bet it's Malik to start the game. Cade seemed like a very situational quarterback role. It could be. You could see. But we did hear Sam call for it in the number 2, QB2. Put me in, coach. I'll play defensive back. Man, they might need to hold some tryouts, huh? For the secondary, they might need you. Go. They might do some tryouts this offseason. I don't know, man. Justin says injuries in secondary is the problem. I don't think it's just the only problem. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. You're not wrong, Justin Mansill. You're not wrong. Injuries are, not having Cattle on. Slusher's, he's played in 2.5 games this year because he can't stay healthy. Bishop is out for the year. Say what you want about him, but that's a guy who situational plays and downs and series, they have played him, and they've relied on him at times. So, yeah. All right. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If you haven't liked, look at that. We got 23 likes on the screen. We could do better than that. We can do better than 23. I do appreciate Tim for the super, Mr. T-Dub for the super chats. Remember, I Patreon supporters, if you're not getting your stickers, please let me know. DM me, let me know. I want to make sure you guys get your stickers. Just something you might want to slap on the back of your ride. I don't know. Or put it on your console. So someone told me they're going to slap it on their PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it was. So, yeah. I will see you guys again later on in the week. Don't forget, Thursday we're going to have our pregame. I'm not sure who I'm going to have on Hogville Net YouTube. I don't know if it's going to be Otis or Dudley, but we'll be there on Thursday. We're going to try and limit those to 30 minutes. Hour-long interviews are a lot. So Thursday we're probably going to we're going to keep with that 30-minute, I should say 30-minute-ish interview. Get prepared for Mississippi State. And then Friday we'll do our own breakdown here. Thursday's more of me interviewing somebody, and then Friday here is me talking about what's going on and just giving you some of my more in-depth perceptions about the upcoming matchup with whoever the team's going to be. So Thursday it's Hogville Net at 11 o'clock. And then Friday, I don't know what time on Tuss Talk. Just make sure you've subscribed and all that. Make sure you've got the notification bell clicked and everything. So I have to get on Hogville because I missed the post-game streams now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can find them there. Or you can just go to Hogville YouTube and they're there. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I will see you later on in the week. Go Hogs.